pimps, power, and pretty ladies. This is Blax History Month, a 28-day celebration of black exploitation films. By mid-1974, interest in blaxploitation movies started to go into a little bit of a decline. I would say the middle of 1975 was the height of the genre, and the popularity and box office numbers started to wane after that point. Part of the reason for this decline in interest had a lot to do with the fatigue associated with seeing the same negative stereotypes of black people constantly being pushed out for box office profit. It's this lack of variety of black characterization that partially led actor and director Sidney Poitier to direct 1974's Uptown Saturday Night. His aim with the movie was to portray everyday middle-class people with everyday middle-class problems. However, he wanted them to have some pride in themselves and their culture. Uptown Saturday Night is a comedy movie. Not just any comedy though, it's a buddy comedy. Something rarely if ever seen in blaxploitation movies. The movie stars Poitier himself as Steve Jackson, a blue-collar worker with a wife who's just trying to make ends meet. I like how they make a point to show his home life to give the character a little stability. His best friend Wardell, played by Bill Cosby, is the complete opposite of Steve. He's impulsive and never thinks things through, which often lands him in trouble. He means well, but most times he just can't help himself.
Say, brother. See, I'm talking to you, man.
What you want?
I'm asking the questions, sissy. Sit.
Cosby is primarily the comedy relief, but they both do a good job of standing out from one another and staying within the boundaries set for their individual character. At no point do they outshine each other. Usually when I think of Sidney Poitier, I think of a serious drama actor, but here he holds his own in the comedy department. He always has this deer in the headlights look that he maintains throughout the entire movie. He knows he's in over his head, and it shows without him having to tell you. It's a good thing that he does hold his own, because he has competition beyond Bill Cosby. Richard Pryor has a small role as a shifty private investigator, and I'm happy to report that unlike in The Mac, he's actually hilarious this time. Harry Belafonte is here as a crime lord named Geechee Dan, and honestly, he wouldn't have had to say a word in this movie, and I would have still died laughing at all the prosthetics they used to make him look like the Godfather. Plus, listen to his voice.
First off, I don't want you. I want your boss.
He goes all in on this role. Even my girl Katie Lester makes another appearance, although brief, as the girlfriend of Wardell. You can never have enough Katie Lester. There's far more funny characters in this movie, too many to list, but one of my favorite scenes is when this politician, played by Roscoe Lee Brown, doesn't know who's coming to see him, so he keeps asking his secretary to fill him in so he could change his style accordingly.
There are two gentlemen waiting outside to see you.
Yes, of course, from the mayor's office.
No, sir.
Ah, then perhaps the press.
Well, I think not, sir. They look, well, rather ordinary.
Oh. Constituents.
Yes, sir.
Show them in.
Gotta love a politician. The story goes like this. Steve and Wardell go to a literally underground gambling spot called Madame Zenobia's. They just want to unwind and have a good time, and maybe make some extra bread. But damn their luck, the place gets robbed, and everybody loses their money and jewelry. At first, it's no big deal. That is until later, when Steve reads the paper and realizes that he's won $50,000 in the lottery. And wouldn't you know it, the ticket was in his wallet, which was stolen at Madame Zenobia's. My big takeaway from this is the fact that he memorized his lottery number. I can barely remember my social security number, and that's somewhat important. It's just one blunder after another as Steve and Wardell attempt to discover who it is that robbed the casino and get the wallet back. The movie gets progressively funnier every time they get a new clue and end up somewhere where they are totally out of place and in over their heads. It never really gets boring or stops being funny, except towards the end, when for whatever reason, Poitier decided that we needed to hear an entire sermon that lasts close to 15 minutes. We can't even hear what the characters are saying, and it kind of makes no sense. Maybe he thought we needed a little Jesus after watching so many violent blaxploitation movies. The movie had two sequels, Let's Do It Again in 1975 and A Piece of the Action in 1977. They weren't really sequels, but more spiritual successors that kind of work as an anthology series since they have the same actors but playing different characters. Uptown Saturday Night is an enjoyable buddy comedy throughout that succeeded in telling a story about the common man and his struggles. If you want a good laugh, This is the movie to check for.